title of the movie is The Wrong High. Hello and welcome back to my page, and I really want to appreciate you for sticking around with me. I see the likes, I see the comments, and I see that you share our videos whenever you see them, and I do not take that for granted. I really appreciate you. And today's movie lesson is from Wrong High, showing on Uche Jumbo TV on YouTube. And if you have not seen this movie, please head straight to YouTube to Uche Jumbo TV and watch this movie. The title of the movie once again is Wrong High. Okay, so honestly, this movie is a very interesting movie, and this movie is just a proof that some people, they don't enter a relationship looking for love. They enter looking for opportunity, and some of these opportunities can be emotional opportunity, it can be financial opportunity, it can even be this soft life opportunity, because Edafe in this movie was not confused. He was calculated. And that's the scary part of this movie, because from the outside, you look at him and you see somebody that is a perfect man. He's even attentive, he's romantic, he's patient. Meanwhile, this man was running emotional investment scams like a full-time career. And the saddest part is that Jane loved him genuinely for 8 years. I mean, 8 whole years. She was supporting him emotionally, she was supporting him financially, believing that they were building a future together. At this point, Jane was not even dating again. She was practically sponsoring a human subscription plan. I don't know if you get what I mean. I mean, the man was siphoning funds from her. And this movie exposes something dangerous. Sometimes people can become so committed to potential that they stop paying attention to patterns because the red flags were there. I mean, a grown-up man constantly depending on her financially, always trying to figure out things, always needing support, always having explanations, and never really progressing. And this is important. Love should not feel like permanent rehabilitation. Support is normal in relationship. But when one person is always carrying everything emotionally and financially, while the other person only contributes promises, that is no longer partnership. That is dependency with good morning tests. Then comes Victoria. She was successful, she was powerful, she was wealthy. And at first, she had strong walls emotionally, which honestly makes sense, because successful women are often forced to question whether people are genuinely in love with them or simply love access to their lifestyle. But Edafe understood something. Some manipulators don't attack your weakness. They study your loneliness. And that is very deep, because he knew exactly what to say. He presented himself as secure, unthreatened by her success, emotionally mature. Meanwhile, this man was preparing for the Olympics of deception. Then came the most shocking part, the wedding day. This man told Jane he was going for a job interview only to wear a wedding suit and marry another woman. Imagine. Honestly, Nollywood writers at this point, I think they just looked at peace and say, no, let there be chaos. And there was chaos. And what makes this betrayal worse is not only the cheating, it's the level of planning behind it. This was not emotional confusion. This was strategy. It was a calculated manipulation. Even adding his name to Victoria's property documents before the wedding, that tells you this man was not just chasing love. He was chasing full ownership. And that scene where Jane storms the church, that was pure cinema. I call it battle of slaps. But it was very painful, because imagine discovering in public that the future you believed in for 8 years was completely fake. That kind of heartbreak changes people. Then Edafe's mask finally slips. And this is another major lesson from the movie. Watch people carefully when they are exposed, because pressure reveals character faster than comfort ever will. The moment his lies collapsed, the charming gentleman disappeared immediately. Suddenly, entitlement came out, disrespect came out, manipulation came out. He started defending his undoing. Even his father supported the nonsense, saying that wealthy women deserve to have their money chopped. That line alone explains where Edafe learned his mindset from. And honestly, some people were not raised with values. They were raised with survival tactics. Survival instincts. But then the movie shifts beautifully. Instead of turning against each other permanently, Jane and Victoria realized something important. The real enemy was not each other. It was the manipulator between them, and that was Edafe. And that is a very powerful lesson, because many times victims end up fighting each other while the real problem escapes accountability. But these women chose intelligence over competition. They chose healing over bitterness. They chose strategy over emotional reaction. And honestly, their revenge was clean. It was no shouting, no fighting, no dramatic violence, just pure intelligence. Switching the real property documents with fake ones, that was an elite behavior. At that point, Edafe realized the game had ended. And the most satisfying part, the women did not just survive him. They upgraded beyond him. Victoria gives Jane a major business opportunity. They built friendship, they built partnership, healing, growth, and that is the real victory. Not revenge, but transformation. So if there is one deep lesson from this movie titled Wrong Isle, it is this: the manipulators survive by making people feel emotionally dependent on them. But healing begins the moment you stop competing for toxic people and start choosing yourself instead. And another important lesson is this: not everybody who speaks softly has good intentions. Some people weaponize charm. Some people study emotions professionally. And that's what Edafe did. And discernment is just as important as love. You don't go around loving people without trying to know who they are. If you enjoy this breakdown, follow us for more deep lessons from movies. And tell me in the comments, at what point do you think that Jane should have noticed these red flags? Also, suggest the next Nollywood movie that you want us to talk about. If you have not watched the movie again, please head straight to Uche Jumbo TV. The title of the movie is Wrong Isle. I'll see you next time. Bye.